Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life.
Hi everybody, MichaelBtheGameGenie here. Thank you so very much for watching, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing the Evercade EXP handheld from Blaze Entertainment. So that's right guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Evercade EXP, which is the newest revision of the popular cartridge-based Evercade handheld gaming system. I want to say a huge thank you to the people at Blaze Entertainment for sending me out a copy of the Evercade EXP for the purpose of this review. So the Evercade EXP is a revision on the original Evercade with a more sleeker design, more aesthetically pleasing look. It has a ton more options as well as new included software, all while retaining all the qualities that made the original Evercade so good. Now let's take a closer look at the updated handheld and see if you should consider upgrading, or if this is going to be your first Evercade purchase, is this the absolute best version to get? Well, the Evercade EXP is finally here, and I am incredibly excited to check out the newest iteration of the handheld. I've been following Evercade for a few years now, and I have the original handheld, the VS console, and most of the cartridges. While I did like the original handheld, there were a few downsides to it, and I'm interested to see if those areas were addressed with the EXP. So guys, here we have the Evercade EXP here in box. Let's open it up and see what's inside. We take off the beautiful sleeve, the Capcom art on the side. I really like the packaging here. Let's get to opening it up and seeing what's inside. Immediately you will see the console. That's the first thing that comes out. Great little handheld, feels very comfortable in my hands. I like the feel of the disc, the buttons, even though they're a little bit smaller, but this looks like it's going to be a pretty solid handheld. Alright, let's see what else is included. So what came with this package was Irem Arcade Volume 1. I'm excited to play some R-Type on this bad boy, and of course, love the clamshell cases. We've got a white USB-C power cord, however, it does not come with a power brick for charging. We have an instruction manual for the included Capcom collection, which we'll talk about later, that does come included as software on the Evercade EXP. I love Evercade's manuals, they do such a good job with these. And guys, that is it. That's everything in the box. Quick start guide is on the inside, but that's everything you get with your Evercade EXP. One of my major issues with the original Evercade was I just didn't think they hit the nail on the head with how the console looked. The combination of red and white and gray just wasn't appealing to me and looked a little old school, but maybe that is the aesthetic they were trying to accomplish. With the Evercade EXP, they went incredibly simple with an all-white design, and while some people will say it looks slightly boring, I personally think it looks incredibly sleek, modern, and clean. I love the look of the console and find it pleasing visually, where the original was just a little off-putting, but not bad looking by any means. My one critique is I think they could have added some slight color variations to the buttons, maybe as identifiers, but otherwise a very good looking handheld. As for the shape and comfort factor, the EXP handheld is exactly the same height in the middle as the original console. However, the nubs that extend out for an ergonomic hold on the original are no longer there, opting instead for a straight edge, which presents a cleaner look while making the system feel and seem more compact. While that contour was designed to make the player's experience more comfortable, the EXP is just as, if not more comfortable to hold as the original. While the system shape has changed, the screen has not, as it's the same size and shape as the original screen. You will notice that it has a 16:9 LCD screen, which is not ideal for playing retro games, which were typically output in a 4:3 aspect ratio, and this will leave space on either side of the screen. The 16:9 screen does come in handy for future-proofing, as the Evercade library doesn't just include retro games, but also modern games, which require the additional screen space. If you are buying this primarily to play retro games and don't like the unused space on the screen, the system does include an assortment of bezels that can be added. The screen is super high quality with no discoloration while viewing from any angle. The picture looks bright and crisp, and all the colors look incredibly sharp on this screen. As I mentioned with my initial Evercade review, I typically don't enjoy a directional pad that offers a plate design for retro gaming, but just like with the Evercade, I am once again impressed with how comfortable and accurate this directional pad works, and we will cover the accuracy again a little later when we discuss the quality of the emulation. The one thing that has seemingly shrunk in size from the last release to this one is the buttons. I really liked larger buttons on the original and was concerned that these would be a little more awkward due to their size, but I have to say, I find them extremely comfortable to play with, especially with their slope design. Once again, the buttons are incredibly responsive and feel good to press. The speakers are located at the bottom of the handheld and produce an impressive volume for such small speakers. I will say my initial impressions of the sound were not the best, as I found the sound had a slight tinniness to it. However, the more that I played the handheld, the less I noticed it, to the point where I don't hear it at all anymore. I'm not sure if something changed with the system, or I am going crazy, but the audio seems really clear to me now. If you aren't overwhelmed with the quality of the audio, keep in mind there is also a headphone jack, not just to play without disturbing others, but also to hear the great games through your favorite headset or earbuds. If there is one area where I definitely have to say I am impressed with the Evercade EXP, it's how the games run on the machine, and I have no problem stating it is pretty much flawless. I'm sure most of us experienced the perils of emulation in the past where the audio doesn't sound right, graphical anomalies, or the most common and frustrating for retro game enthusiasts is input delay. Well, my input delay test on all emulation devices is simple. If I can get past Quickman's beams in Mega Man 2 without using the freeze, then the emulation and input is spot on, and I am happy to report here I haven't failed a run yet on the Evercade EXP. For those of you who also want to play these games on a larger screen, or perhaps even record or to stream gameplay, the Evercade EXP features an HDMI out. Well, mini HDMI out. Unfortunately, this cable does not come included and you will have to source one for yourself. As you can see on the screen, the output result is fantastic, featuring great looking 1080p video from the device and crystal clear picture quality. Probably the most interesting aspect of the Evercade EXP, and maybe its biggest selling point notwithstanding our next topic, is the ability to shift the screen orientation from horizontal to vertical with the press of a button, and the controls are designed to allow play in Tate mode. This is huge for playing vertically oriented arcade games in the most aesthetically pleasing way on a 16:9 screen. I especially enjoy this for vertically scrolling shoot 'em ups, as the screen is large enough to actually see all the enemies and projectiles on screen. I still can't avoid all of them, and I die, but at least I can see them now. My one small critique of playing games in Tate mode on the Evercade EXP is it can be a little clumsy and tiresome on the hands, as the system is a little long and unbalanced in this holding position and does wobble around quite a bit. Maybe I just need to get more used to it. One of the most pleasant surprises prior to the release of the Evercade EXP is that Capcom games would be coming to the platform. But there was a catch, as the games would not be available as a cartridge as we have become accustomed to with Evercade Game Collection releases, but would instead be included as games already on the device. The initial offering of Capcom games was a very impressive combination of both arcade and console games that would appeal to anyone from beat-em-up fans, classic shmup fans, fighting game fans, and even side-scrolling action platformer fans. I personally am super stoked that the good people of Evercade included the best Mega Man game from the original series, Mega Man 2, instead of the second best Mega Man, number 3. Suck it, Mike Tendo. Hopefully this isn't the last collection of games we see on the Evercade from Capcom, and hopefully this is a sign that other potential high-end publishers could eventually show up. Last but not least, I did want to talk about compatibility with previous cartridges from the Evercade library. As anyone who watched my Evercade vs. console review will know, I was a little disappointed that the Namco Collection cartridges were not compatible for whatever reason with that system. I am extremely happy to report the Namco Collections do in fact work with the EXP, and I am once again happily playing Splatterhouse 2 on the Evercade. So far with my testing, I was unable to find any cartridge that was not compatible with the system, and I do have the majority of available cartridges, not all of them, but most, and they all work flawlessly on the EXP. So guys, that's my look at the Evercade EXP from Blaze Entertainment, and I definitely think this is an incredible upgrade to the original Handheld. It does everything the original Evercade did while providing a much sleeker and streamlined look and playing experience. The new features, such as the included Capcom games and the ability to switch to tape mode, make this a must-have for Evercade enthusiasts. If you're considering buying an Evercade for the very first time, this is definitely the one to get. However, I do caution that you should check out the existing library of games and collections of games available for the system to make sure there is an assortment of games that you're interested in playing. Well, let me know what you guys think of the Evercade EXP. Is it as good of an upgrade as I think it is? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It really means a lot to me. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time.